After Dark, starring John and Danny.
Guys, this week we managed to actually have a guest that's not just a live stream of a fascinating game on Dice Check, but at the cost of a regular co-host, as Evan Valdyke joins us to hit the high points from around the community. My name is John. It's pretty grim after dark.
You got the cool music.
Hey, yeah. I went to Adepticon. My team got the best display at the team tournament. We had a pretty awesome Malal themed display with a Malal Sons of Malice fighting Grey Knights, and we even made like a codex to give out to our opponents and stuff. That was pretty fun. So
when you gave your opponents your codex, were you like, these are the rules we're using? Here is a copy of my book.
That did try to make it as accurate as possible, but we also had like there was definitely little mistakes in it, so we had our real stuff on hand.
So it was accurate as possible because it had lots of little mistakes.
Hold on a second. Hold on. I got a question about Adepticon display boards. They are getting more and more elaborate. When do you think that they're going to actually just go the distance and someone just shows up with an ice cream truck? I think that would be very appealing to the judges.
The problem is now you have to figure out how to. They've limited the footprints, so
that's why the verticality is increasing.
Yes, the verticality that Age of Sigmar one that they showed off went up. So we definitely went up as well, and we actually figured out we had a spinning, and our space station fit in the footprint when it was static, but it definitely spun outside it, forward and back. But you guys, this is where knowing where you can bend the rules matters, because the point is in the display hall, they don't want you to hit the people to the left or right. So it fit that way and then spun out in the front and back.
I think the best thing about it, though, is now we can have like a team. Say we want to take a team down, Val, to Adepticon. We could have our display board, and part of that is a button where an arm just comes out like this, and when it spins around, it punches your opponents.
Knocks over the other display boards. Like you get like a little fucking robot wars thing going on.
For sure. And we'll just say we have to do this to protect other people from using it when we're not here. One thing that really caught my eye, I'm always one for a American Psycho reference. And in a second here, we're going to pull up slide 2 of the slideshow, which was one of the memes you made that caught my eye here, which is this guy. Yeah. Evan, looks like you're pretty excited for a new Chaos Space Marine book.
Well, when they failed to give us new Khorne Berserkers, when they released that new Karn, it used up all my anger. I got so angry then. We got the new Karn and this whole themed book about Khorne Berserkers, and they're like, yeah, just keep using those old models. And I'm like, they clearly don't care. And so I have to stop caring.
Or
otherwise I'll find myself.
They obviously had them.
Great.
Like, there's no way in hell they weren't already. They didn't exist already.
Or hear me out here, guys, and Val, you can jump in on this one too.
Yeah.
Much like the Butcher's Nails increase the rage in Khorne Berserkers, forcing you to use 30-year-old models in your army is its very own Butcher's Nail to get you in the right frame of mind for playing World Eaters.
It definitely is. When going and finding Catachan arms to put on them is a better move. There's a problem with the kit.
Val, what are your takes? We're talking World Eaters here, but they're not even in the new Chaos Space Marine Codex. But for the foreseeable future, they're going to be like a White Dwarf article. What's your take on that?
Well, I'm pretty sure actually it's a Warhammer Plus perk is the way it's actually being rolled out.
After subscribing for 9 months,
and if you subscribe for a year, you can go to your local Warhammer store and get one Khorne Berserker, but it's actually an old Khorne Berserker with Catachan arms. So it's like, I don't know, it's going to be a bit of a lunchbox letdown, I think, personally.
That's fair. What do you, Evan, expect to see from this World Eaters supplement we're going to be getting? I think pretty much confirmed in June's White Dwarf.
Chaos players complaining is pretty much guaranteed. That's going to be the primary release there.
What do you want to see from World Eaters?
Like you don't need a rule called Armor of Contempt when it's a way of life, you know. So like I think that's what the Chaos players bring to the table. So they don't need that stuff. They don't need a second wound. They don't need all that stuff. They bring it with them.
Yeah, they'll just be like, "Oh, I see you have the new World Eaters army." I'm like, "Well, it doesn't matter. I'm going to lose you anyway because you're playing Tyranids." It's like
'Cause you're playing
Eeyore from
Imperial
Winnie the
Guard.
Pooh in player form. But what do you want to see from that World Eaters army when we get it?
Definitely a plastic Angron, and then at least 6 to 7 months before we get a new Space Marine Codex. That's the two, I think, big things I want to see out of it.
And Truett in chat there came up with the name of the rule, Mindset of Contempt, which I think is, legitimately one of my favorite comments from that. It's great. What do you want to see from Chaos in general? I know you said power armor, but is that all you want to see kind of coming out of this Chaos book? What do you see as Chaos Space Marines in 9th edition?
I've always felt Chaos Space Marines should be more it should be focused on the fallen legions, or at least the renegade marines, and a lot of those demon engines I think should go to Codex demons. It just kind of makes sense there. But I want to see it should be if anyone's watched the new Stranger Things, the Space Marine Codex, the real world Chaos Space Marines, the Upside Down. That's really what it should be. The dark perversion and just twisting all the Space Marine rules to be more chaotic in flavor and nature.
I think for John to understand the reference, you probably have to go with Superman and Bizarro Superman. That would probably ring more true.
That's fair. Now, Val, do you share the same wrong opinion that Chaos Space Marines should just be spiky loyalists?
Well, again, I mean, there is an entire game where they don't even have spikes. So I think that, and I'm really talking about my ass here because I don't really know much. But like, I did read the first book of that Inquisitor one, Eisenhorn. And in that, there's like one Space Marine who shows up, Chaos Space Marine who shows up, and like everyone vomits and shits their pants. And like, but like mostly they were surrounded by like guys with like a claw leg and the dude from the Goonies. So like that, I feel like that's a good vibe. I feel like Chaos Space Marine should be a bit special and a part of sort of a wider chaotic melange, which is I think perhaps where they're going with it.
Yeah, Evan, how many CP would a stratagem to make your enemy poop themselves be? And what would those effects be on the tabletop? Now Val's taking us down this rabbit hole, if you will. This is going to be an older one from your page here for our next image that we're pulling up. We are looking at some controversy you pulled up, where I saw it kind of in hindsight here, the Dallas Open terrible ruling. And then the London GTTOs are saying, hold my beer, assuming they made a worse ruling. So now we're about a month removed from these events. What are you meaning by this picture here?
I'm trying to remember the terrible rulings. The London one was about models having to be exactly as pictured. That was it. So their initial release of they have to be exactly as pictured on the box. My take was, okay, so the drop pod is in the air hurtling down at a 45-degree angle. And the front of the box it's closed, the back of it's open. So what do you guys mean by exactly on the box? And then they had all these other, people pointing out these things about, so does a tank have to have a crewman? Like the Lehman Russ doesn't need the guy hanging out the top. It just dominated the conversation for about a day and a half before they realized
is like
the mistake
decades
of the
in internet time. Like, yeah, good, they should. Make all those people in their raiders model the Drukari in there until I pointed out that Landspeeder Storms had extra people on too. Why do you think that they made this definitive ruling?
I think it was just trying to get around crazy conversions, and really the problem of people buying a ton of Harlequins off eBay and airbrushing them in about 4 hours and leaving guns and riders off of them and then just putting them on because Clearly, that Viper is what it is because it only has one loadout, or not Viper,
Mhm.
whatever it is. But
Yeah. I also like that
so
no one's used a Viper in any form of play for decades now, and yet that's the only word I can think of too when I'm trying to think of whatever
yeah.
the Dark Eldar
Well,
one
did
is.
it Manny just win something with Vipers in his list?
Shut up, okay? I don't know anything.
I think
Much
that's the
less things
first
that
time I've
happened
seen him.
yesterday.
I think that's the first time I've seen him in a while. So maybe now we're gonna see him everywhere because Manny used him, right? But no, that's the only thing I can think of. That's what a small Eldar 2-man craft is Viper. Anything else is just some variation of that.
Competitive versus narrative. A tale as old as time. And when you started playing, did you view yourself as a narrative player or a competitive player?
When I started, I didn't make a distinction. I just played 40K with friends. I was, a garage hammer kind of, kitchen table in middle school playing with friends. I don't know which side of the fence. I don't get to play enough to land on the competitive side of things. Got small kids but I like going to events, big events with a lot of people. So uh, when I can go to those, I just try to have fun.
Yeah. Val, as someone who also has kids and doesn't enjoy going to big events like you do, what is the difference between a narrative and a competitive player? What would your definition be between the two?
I have actually said many times that I don't say bad at Warhammer. I think they're bad at losing. I think people who get really upset about losing tend to be folks who haven't learned that skill. Because losing is hard, and most children, when they lose, don't take it so well. And I'm not saying people who like call themselves narrative or children. I think I'm digging myself deep in a hole. What I'm saying is that like it's hard to play a game and suck at it and keep your head up and maintain some perspective. For me, especially during the game, literally 3 milliseconds after the game's over, I'm like, "Wow, that was fun, guys." During the game, I'm having an existential crisis, melting down, like full tantrum mode. So like I'm definitely not a good example of this, but I do think that like a lot of it is everyone likes to win, and so I think a lot of people hide behind this idea that the reason they're not winning is because of something someone else is doing. And what I've always appreciated and enjoyed about the competitive scene is that that's not what it's about. It's about what you're doing and how you
Mhm.
can find ways to win the game, do things differently, analyze it, and come back and try again. And it's not for everything. It's not for everybody. And quite frankly, if I actually believed, because I've been at, like in Toronto, we got a quote narrative gaming group, and I've been to their game nights, and everyone's bringing the best list that they think is good. Now
Mhm.
that was 7th edition to current day. Everyone brings what they think is good, and they get real disappointed when it's not good. And so I think that's really most of the time. Most people are not stringing together narratives and naming their guys and progressing and writing fanfic and shit. No one's like, a very small minority of people are doing that, and those who do it, great, good on you. Even those people who don't do it, cool. I would just say explore more a little bit about your own personal accountability about how you react to these things and playing games that you like. For example,
Yeah.
I'm playing Warhammer Fantasy Battles right now, guys.
Oh,
Um,
God.
and that's honestly a reaction to the fact that I was being a whiny bee all the time, right? Like I don't want to be that guy. So like if you don't like it, do something else.
Lots of people agreeing with you here, Val. Also, someone here calling you Daddy Val, which, Chad, I'm going to ask you never to say again. That is not okay. But well, the war really erupted because of this take here on this next picture we're going to look at, where they said, and all this chess clock noise. And guys, I did not want to touch on chess clock. Val's been a BAO all weekend. I can't keep him up till 3 in the morning talking about this. My thoughts on the important, non-contentious things are calling yourself a narrative player is an excuse for being bad at Warhammer. And someone responded with calling yourself a competitive player is an excuse for being bad at painting Warhammer. What about those of us who can't paint or play? What you got to do is have a company host a podcast for you, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore. Val, you were saying.
I can't remember. That's funny. Hold on. It'll come. Oh yeah, I was gonna say like there are so many examples of admired players. Like Sean Naden springs to mind. I'm a very large Lawrence Baker fanboy. And like all of the long list of people who are like diehard for their faction, who like are always playing, who are always just playing what they want to play, and usually playing it as well as they can with the frame of reference of realizing that maybe it's suboptimal, but they understand that going in, right? Like, I think that's the difference. It's when like when reality doesn't meet your expectations and there's that dissonance there. That's where like things get down to like degraded down to like, well, you're shit at painting. Like, well, no, man. Like, fuck. I don't know. It seems lame to me.
Finally, on the narrative front here, we have this guy. He says, "What are people's thoughts and ideas of dragons in 40k? Does that sound cool?" Evan?
Chaos already has one. What, the hell
Yeah,
turkey, right? Right?
no, it's a bird. Would dragons be cool in a more wide setting, or do you think he's only asking this after playing dominant dragon-based meta in Age of Sigmar over the last 6 months?
I got two
Uh,
giant dinosaurs, so I'm fucking I'm like firmly on team cool with dragons. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Evan, you don't seem to be on the fence because we
yeah,
have one bad chaos unit that's technically a dragon.
no, I don't think we need more of them. I'd like my sci-fi to be a little bit more sciencey.
Oh,
But
so we can tell.
you saying dragons are bad at math? You ever heard Smog? that guy knew his multiplication table. What are you killing? What? Come on.
You took a single gold coin from him, he would know. How do we
You
know the new League of Votann is not going to come with dragons who hoard all of the data servers that the Votann have and then sleep on them like a bed of data servers?
That's who they would be trying to take their data servers back from. Is the space dragons?
Isn't there a dragon in Mars somewhere? Isn't there some sort of
the void dragon? Did they?
I think the Void Dragon is technically a person who gave himself a cool edgelord nickname rather than like an actual dragon.
He's an old-timey dude in a green suit behind a curtain, pulling levers and asking you not to look behind it. Aren't all the Satan models, except for the most recent ones, just like a stamp mold? Like they just like
they are
make
75 years old.
They make license plates and Satans next to each other on the line. Like,
guys, just checking in real quick. Let's check in on Danny, see if he's got the in-flight Wi-Fi working yet. Does look like we're still waiting for him to... Oh. We're going to let this play. It looks like we're still waiting for him to enter his full credit card number, which is available in our show notes. Go ahead and click on that and find out. So yeah, it's our favorite time of the week. It's bad takes. Guys, Tau Hatred is rearing its ugly head again. And even with signals from the Frontline co-host and giant man baby Seth Oster piloting a plasma list to 5th place finish this weekend at a major, with his only loss coming at the hands of eventual winner Brad Chester. Brad Chester, by the way, treated Seth in their game with the same willful levels of violence that he treats his own liver. People aren't happy. Evan, when will the Tau hate end?
When they stop putting up big titty Tau Tau pictures on Facebook all the time.
can't stop, won't stop.
Yeah. So never in that case. If they can't stop, won't stop, then never.
Val, you're stuck in this like weird little loop where you can stop this Tau thing, but you would also have to stop posting your Rule 34 anime art.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I think that the large titty Tau is actually an attempt from the Tau community, a misguided one, perhaps at perhaps trying to endear themselves to the wider community by doing that which they think might be appreciated, which is by making incredibly sexualized, cloven-hoofed female Tau models all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's actually perhaps a misguided attempt at connection.
Now for a genuinely awful take. Val, I'm gonna ask you about this one here first. Games Workshop purposely sells models at increased costs to keep minorities from entering the hobby.
Oh.
So Val,
Oh.
well, with that in mind, this very balanced, reasonable, no way wrong take. What's your thoughts there?
This is a hot potato right here, bud. Well, I mean, one thing, it's sort of condescending in the sense that it implies that minorities can't afford Warhammer, and that what? Like they're all no one is able to achieve a lifestyle that includes Warhammer. I think that's a bit harsh and
pretty
prejudiced
bad.
as well in its own right. And implied prejudice of Games Workshop is usually, I think, more blatantly represented in the models themselves, rather than any sort of obtuse pricing approach to keeping people out of this game.
Yeah. Evan, why would anyone in their right mind make this insane argument?
Well, it's patently wrong because that's also then implying that uh, Australians and New Zealand is a minority, right? 'Cause, their prices are insane. So
Maybe it's just a really
like
bitter Australian who
uh,
doesn't want to spend
uh,
$700 on heresy. Guys, I think it's ludicrous to suggest that, especially when you can click the link in the show notes to buy all of your hobby supplies from Frontline Gaming at frontlinegaming.org, where you can buy all of your Games Workshop products at a discount. And guys, while we're shilling away here, I'm sure someone's going to put a shill counter up here eventually. It's time to remind you that tickets will be going live on Monday, June 6th for the Las Vegas Open 2023. This year, in our new home of the Rio, the Las Vegas Open will be the biggest and best ever. The Rio will be in full operation this year, with the restaurants will all be open, and you can get a special rate through Frontline's exclusive room block. You will not want to miss out on the biggest wargaming event in the world. Grab your tickets starting on Monday, June 6th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Tickets will sell out for this, so grab yours as soon as possible. Monday, June 6th, 10 a.m. Pacific. Man, Val, I do love the fact that you can cut to your gym face of just like, no. That was real good.
I would also say that for those people who attended last LVO, you'll be pleased to know that they've hired another person for the Starbucks, so that should speed it right up.
Hey, anyway, let's get into the real salt of the matter. The Horace Heresy community.
Oh yeah.
Horace
Oh my
Heresy is getting
God.
ready to explode.
No.
People are really mad about it. 2.0, which I'm assuming is referring to the newest heresy, is a failed abortion evidenced by walkers having a toughness value.
Quick pause
And the
right there.
recently
Quick pause right there.
okay,
Now maybe I'm wrong about this,
okay,
but wouldn't a failed abortion result in a
successful
baby?
game. Yeah.
Just throw that.
Yeah. So like they're obviously super jazzed about it, because of the toughness values on dreadnoughts and walkers now, um, and also the recently previewed Ultramarines Legion trait. Yeah, proved the game is bad by like talking about the worst Legion. That's just the tip of the iceberg. When I say 2.0 is a cluster hack, I've already been planning to have to redo a significant portion of the rules to bring it back in line with 7th edition. If we could pause there real quick as well. 7th edition, objectively, the worst edition of 40K I think I've ever played.
Did you not play 6? Because that's objectively the worst.
Well, that's
yeah,
fair. It wasn't great, but trying to change rules to pull stuff back to that time, not your best move. I can't even guarantee I'll have a portion of it finished before Warzone, much less widely distributed given the work pace that has been set by the company. So this, if you guys can't tell, this is from a player in the Texas area. I don't know if we're all surprised. Like if we could just, by the way, Val, have a Val Gym button where we can just press it and just throw up random reactions of you, I'd be super happy about that.
I'm trying to channel my Danny. I mean, he does have an excellent pensive
Reaction
disgust
face.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, Evan. Well, what's your take on this guy here? Who the rules are so bad, he's going to rewrite them all before he's even read them.
well, one, why wouldn't you just, if you're really unhappy, why wouldn't you just keep playing with the rule set that you had? Why do you need to reinvent it all? Because you clearly were happy with the one for the last decade. So that's just odd that you would put in all that effort. Two, uh, he's wrong. he's just badly wrong.
I do like this is the guy who's complaining about the speed of their release pace is the same person who's probably complaining that they haven't released Fires, the new Imperial Armor book, either. So, like, you know,
I'm still salty about
side.
that.
Pick a side. So we have like Evan here saying that they're wrong, and they're expanding past out. Val, you put up several excellent grammar-based points already on this here, or you know, word-based points. What's your take on this? Is this something the community should be rewriting wholesale before it's out?
Well, all right. So fundamentally, and this is a super cop-out take, but yeah, do whatever the hell you want. Just don't complain. Use words like abortion on the internet. Like if you're gonna write your friggin' fanfic rules, just write them, publish them, tell people you like them. Great. There's probably full groups just for that. Don't do it in this form of some sort of flagellant self. I don't even know what this is. It is just gross. I like why? I mean I remember when a Wraith Knight had toughness value and a Dreadnought didn't, and it's stupid. And I assume this dichotomy exists in the Heresy. Am I ignorant? Am I ignorant to this?
No, it exists because like a bunch of Mechanicum robots have toughness and
Right?
they just kill dreadnoughts. Yeah, no, it's not a fun dichotomy.
Like your Terminator, which is a tactical Dreadnought armor, has toughness, dumbass. So why would your Dreadnought, your strategic Dreadnought, if you will, armor, not have a toughness?
Who knows?
I didn't call you Evan a dumbass. I was speaking more the royal dumbass in this case.
I will say what is interesting in this here is 40K almost has the opposite effect here, where you have people saying that the rules are so bad that they have to redo them before they're released. And with 40K, before books are even coming out, we're seeing things come out saying like, hey, we have to redo this because this book is too powerful. So we're kind of like having the opposite thing coming in. Why do you think that is? Why do you think the 30K players want to regress their game and the 40K people kind of want to over progress it?
I think it's because one, you do have a more I hate because we were making the comparison of narrative versus competitive earlier, but there is more of a tournament scene and people playing typically more for stakes or, you know, in tournaments for pole positions, and they're worried about things being broken and, you know, the relative strength of things, or like a meta coming out where, you know, you have Iron Hands dominating for months on end, or Dark Eldar dominating for months on end, things like that. People are always cautious about that, whereas, you know, the heresy folks are, or at least this flavor of person that wants to do this level of change. You know, they don't want someone to move their cheese, right? They fear change, and they don't want to be disturbed in what they see as what belongs to them.
Yeah, totally.
Yes.
And while on the plus side, they're only talking about the rules, and oh no, they're talking about the players too. As we see in this next one, where he's complaining that, so you're sacrificing a third of your community that you've played with forever for a bunch of new people. And yeah, I probably am.
So I'm just going to point just again right off the hop here. So
Sure.
if why wouldn't he go with 2/3 or 3/4? You know, like why would I give a shit about 1/3 of the community? There's a minority of the community, and I'm clearly expanding the potential amount of. I'm probably gonna, if I'm talking about a third of a small pie, why do I care about you if I'm trying to bake a larger pie in which you might just be maybe you'd be an 1/8 or a 16th or whatever other dumb fraction Americans use to measure things. So I think this guy sucks too. I'm just gonna go out there and say that.
Evan, if kind of this level of mindset led to 30K just being 3 people playing it in their garage, does this make 30K the ultimate casual game?
No, I think that's Warlord games and any Warlord games.
I just want to get it out there that 30K is a casual game. But please, Val, you're waving wildly over there.
Yeah, because this is a casual thing again. There's nothing casual about people who use sacrifice and abortion when describing something happening to their game. These people are very serious. They're just serious about things that others aren't maybe not serious about, and so they focus on things, but they take it tremendously seriously. And I think when there's that dissonance, when something is not matching what your mental image of it is, I think Evan already summed this up really nicely. That's when you get their brain ripped in half, and they take to the internet and embarrass themselves.
Guys, let's cleanse ourselves of some really bad takes and move on. Remembering, of course, that this next meme tells us, "Oh, dreading it off the lake, what is your wisdom?" Even if you think your models are not as good as someone else's, that doesn't mean you can't be proud of what you've created.
Turned out of the
Evan?
lake, yeah.
Evan, is that true?
Yes, that is.
So, Evan, realizing what show you're on, is that true? As we ask ourselves, why would someone make this one here? The Uecron. Evan, using only positive words, please review this model.
It's painted. That's good.
It
You've at
is.
least taken the time to assemble and paint and fully base your model. Thank you for that effort.
Would you spend $5 on this STL? Because that's how much it costs.
I'd pay $10 to have it printed for me, probably.
You wouldn't sully your printer with it, but someone else's. No one-stick animation protocols, no more Thickrons, none at all. We don't have any more slides or any more pictures of any more Thickrons. There's no point in even moving to slide 17 right now. Oh, damn it. Well, there's another one right there.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
This
Evan,
is
why does she have hair?
This is what people that played Mass Effect a few too many times and just really into Tolly. This is what they end up with. That's why. I don't know, the hair. Maybe you have a secret Cortana fetish, something like that.
Oh, I don't think anyone's a
I
secret.
think
so that's
my
beside the
biggest
point.
thing is, what's with the Heath Ledger mouth scar going on here? Like the Joker face she's got. What's the story there, Necron?
Distract you from her humongous boobs that get in the way of the cannon.
Bazungas.
Yeah. We're going to cut out today to let our amazingly talented production staff recover from the rigors of the Bay Area Open, which from a production standpoint look great. But the important thing to remember is that the crew put in a ton of work the whole weekend with these guys here. Val, producer Dickie, even Magikarp Usefly himself, Matt, helping produce an amazing stream. Or as my missed co-host Danny so eloquently put it, it's pretty cool for Matt to show up for this one. Which, again, guys, it's grim after dark, but we are pretty petty. Evan, thank you so much for coming along. Go ahead, plug your stuff.
I'm just gonna I'm gonna let you finish, but I just need to point out to the audience that I'm clearly not in this photo. I am not here.
I thought that was you in the very back above.
No, that is
Matt's head.
definitely not me. That is Nick Horton. There's another person. That is Magikarp Usefly. That's Kicker in the front there, and Tech Priest Sticky in the middle. And they did do an outstanding job. I thought it was great. It really, I don't know, kind of painted a bit of a picture, I think, of what good streams can look like. And there's lots of competing options out there. And I think we're just going to hopefully keep honing our craft.
I can't wait until next week, as one of the humblest guys in 40K content creation, Colin Sherman from the Best in Faction podcast, will be here to talk about his annual charity event, Charity Hammer. And he'll let you know how he talked me into entering a tournament I have no place in playing in. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Val, thank you so much for being my replacement Danny this week. Danny and I will be back next Monday. But as always, pretty grim after dark.